All right, let's get into this. We are about to pull apart a multi-billion-dollar criminal empire. Seriously, this is a story about incredible power, global-scale deception, and a collapse that was so fast, so stunning, it sent shockwaves through governments all over the world. So, our story really kicks off on a Tuesday. And for one of Cambodia's most powerful men, this was the day his entire world just completely fell apart. A man named Chen Zhi, the super charismatic, super influential chairman of this massive company called the Prince Group, is suddenly taken into custody. After months of international digging, he and a couple of his associates are put on a plane and sent straight to China because Beijing wanted him back. I mean, this was a spectacular downfall. So you have to ask, right? How does a guy with that much power and influence end up in custody on a one-way flight? To really understand how it all ended, we've got to go back to the beginning and see the world that Chen Zhi so carefully built for himself. See, before everything came crashing down, Chen Zhi wasn't just some businessman in Cambodia. No, he was basically a pillar of the establishment. He had spent years crafting this perfect, flawless public image. Just look at how deeply connected this guy was. He wasn't some outsider. He was a naturalized Cambodian citizen. He founded this huge conglomerate. He was an official advisor to not one but two prime ministers. He even had the prestigious Akana title that's reserved for the absolute top-tier tycoons. And on top of it all, he was known for being a huge philanthropist. On the surface, the guy was the poster child for success. But international authorities, they were telling a completely different story. It was just night and day. Where the public saw a brilliant business magnate, the US Treasury saw the head of a transnational criminal empire. Where the public saw a philanthropist, they alleged industrial-scale human trafficking. And where people saw a real estate developer, the US accused him of running these prison-like scam compounds. You couldn't have two more opposite realities. So, what was this dark side? What was this hidden reality that investigators claimed was churning away behind all the corporate glamour? Well, let's pop the hood on the alleged engine of this whole empire. The whole operation was apparently built on this incredibly cruel and effective scam called pig butchering. It's this really manipulative fraud where the scammers build trust, sometimes over weeks, even months. They create these fake romantic relationships or friendships, fatten up the pig, before convincing their victims to pour their entire life savings into bogus crypto schemes. And according to the US indictment, this was no small-time thing. This was an industrial-grade process. First, they allegedly lured in workers from all over the region with these fake high-paying job offers. But when the workers arrived, they were confined in these compounds and forced to work insane hours, running these pig butchering scams on thousands of people around the world. And the money they made, we're talking billions, was allegedly laundered through this crazy tangled web of cryptocurrency and more than 100 shell companies. An operation this big, one that apparently relied on high-level political protection, well, it couldn't stay in the shadows forever. The world's authorities started connecting the dots, and then the net started to close in with absolutely breathtaking speed. And here's how fast it happened. The first domino fell on October 14th, 2025. The US and the UK hit Chen Zhi and his whole network with massive sanctions. Boom. Just 2 weeks later, police in Singapore raid properties and seize over $150 million. Then, on November 4th, Hong Kong freezes almost $3 billion in assets, while on the exact same day, Taiwan detains 25 people and seizes another $4.5 billion. By December, even his own adopted country, Cambodia, turns on him and revokes his citizenship, which set the stage for his arrest and deportation in January. It was just a rapid-fire, global, and perfectly coordinated takedown. The numbers that we're talking about in this case are, well, they're just staggering. It really shows you the sheer scale of the wealth that law enforcement says was built up from all these criminal activities. Okay, let's start with the headline number 15, billion dollars. That's just the estimated value of the Bitcoin seized by the US government. To put that in perspective, that's more than the entire annual GDP of dozens of countries. It makes this one of the biggest financial fraud cases in history. And next, the network. This number, 146, that's how many people and companies were targeted by just that first wave of US sanctions. It shows you this wasn't some small group. This was a massive global organization. And the real-world stuff they were buying was just as insane. This number, 19, that's just the number of properties they seized in London. And get this, a single one of those buildings was valued at almost £100 million. So when you put all the pieces together, you're looking at a global treasure map for this alleged empire. You've got the $15 billion in crypto in the US, you've got hundreds of millions in cash and stocks seized in Hong Kong, 26 high-end cars in Taiwan, and in Singapore, properties, luxury vehicles, even a yacht. The money was literally everywhere.
So Chen Zhi is deported. His assets are frozen all over the planet. What does the final chapter of this wild story actually look like?
Well, for their part, the Prince Group has denied everything, vehemently. In a statement, they said the allegations were totally baseless and that this was all just a big excuse to seize their legitimate, hard-earned assets. They've already hired American lawyers and are insisting that they're going to be completely exonerated. But you've got to understand, the real fallout is just getting started. Chen Zhi is in China now, where he'll face their justice system. The Cambodian government is trying to back away from its former advisor as fast as it can, and now this huge, incredibly complicated legal battle begins in courts all over the world to figure out what happens to all those billions of dollars in seized assets.
You know, when you step back, this whole case shines a massive spotlight on one of the biggest challenges we face today. It proves that criminal empires can now operate on a truly global stage, using digital tools to make borders practically disappear.
If you liked today's podcast, please give a like and considering subscribe to our channel. See you in the next video.